right, welcome back to another episode of Knicks Morning Koffee. I'm Mr. King. Y'all know my partner Joe Cool.
What's going on?
All right, man. So what we got today with these Knicks, the other day was a tough loss to the Hawks.
Yeah.
That put us down 2 in a row after being on that nice little streak we was on. But today, by the time y'all see this, we would have already played Toronto tonight. So this is going to air Monday morning. Today, obviously, is
Another
Sunday.
team that just want to beat us this year.
Yeah, always trying to give us trouble. But RJ said he's ready to go home and he's ready to perform against them. So this should be interesting. But before we get down to it, please like, comment, subscribe. We picked up a few new subscribers past week, so we appreciate that. Help the brothers out.
Welcome.
All right, so look at the NBA standings. Well, I got to go over that now. Every week we got to touch on it because the Knicks, we in 6th, 7th place tied, and then you always got to try to keep that in perspective that where we could be after those nice winning streaks, and then you hit the losing patch and you start winning again, and we just can't afford right now to go tick for tat because our schedule is packed with people that can just push us all the way down the bottom. So these next 10, 15 games, a lot could happen.
Yeah.
So
and teams ain't really playing with us no more. Like they coming to when they got the Knicks on the schedule, I know they playing like, we need this win.
Yeah, because they know the Knicks.
Especially with Toronto, because how many times do we play them?
Well, this is going to be the 4th time.
Fourth time, so.
Yeah, and 3 in 17 days. So last week we ended the show. I had asked a question, if you remember, where do the Knicks go from here? And I was leaving it open. And after looking at the past 2 games, because with all the good stuff that we doing, I said, let me try to find the fault. And other than I think the 3 things is closing out games is probably the major, one of our major things that's wrong with us. And if we don't fix that, we're going to find ourselves in a deep, deep hole. And then, the other thing I think comes down, well, besides Mitchell Robinson now going to be out a couple of weeks, even though we did pretty good the last time he was out, and they talk about maybe trying to bring a Serge Ibaka, or people just speculating what could be out there. But we held it down in the middle a little bit when he was out. But we got to do a better job too of finding a hot hand through the courses of the game, because it's just looking like I was just thinking about other teams who have a 3, and is our so-called, I don't even want to use the word big 3 playing off each other well enough? Or is just everybody just getting theirs? Because we still getting the 3 guys getting close to the 20 and better. But it seemed not to be really impacting the game, because we have other guys also, contributing. But where could we
Our big 3 is just not matching up to
right.
everybody's big 3. So that's the conversation I have with everybody. Our big 3 really is a bunch of 3, they will be the 3rd person in the big 3. So that's what it really is. So when the big 3 started, you had LeBron James, right? Clearly a superstar. Then you had Dwayne Wade. Clearly he already got his ring. And then you had Chris Bosh that was running Toronto on his own. He couldn't do it as the guy. But then when you put all 3 of them together, a superstar in the NBA, and then an up-and-coming, another superstar, and then Chris Bosh, that's your big 3, right? The Knicks got the Chris Bosh. We ain't got the LeBron. Yeah, we don't even got the Chris Bosh, but just to be nice, we got the Chris Bosh. Jalen Brunson looked like he can be better. It looked like he didn't even reach the ceiling yet. He's coming into his own. Randall, he's strong, right? He is the guy, the face of the Knicks right now. And then you got RJ Barrett, which is young, a young player that's trying to find his way. All 3 of them could have been the Chris Bosh, but that's our problem. We just don't got one.
Yeah, but but it also goes deeper than that, because even our level of our big 3 is not meshing. They're not meshing still as a big 3. You take a team like a Memphis, the way their guys still mesh together. Bane and what's the guy, Devin, the one that had the argument with Shannon Sharp. Their other 2 they still mesh together. You know, they still mess with John Morant. That's what I mean, more so than having a real big three is having big three that all meshing their talents at one time.
The John Morant, but that been my argument for the beginning of the season. John Morant does things on the court that you just can't explain, right? You would say when you're watching, oh, just do this, build the wall on Giannis, put more hands on LeBron, or do these kind of things. We don't got none of those players.
But that's what also where coaching and chemistry comes in at though, because the other guys are still playing off him well. Like they know that he's the man, and then they know and everybody knows where they fit in at, and that's the meshing part that we just don't got to where these next 10, 15, 20 games, you know, where we can go from being in a dogfight between 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th to really locking ourselves out into maybe being somewhere stuck in that 12, 13 range. And then the last thing that we want right now is to finish up, you know, 11, 12, and then barely just missing the playoffs, because that puts you in no man's land when it comes time for the lottery. So I think somebody's podcast the other day, they were talking about what the shit the Knicks do if they started losing all these games. Should they go ahead and tank? And it's too early for that, you know, with 30-something games to go. It's too early to consider tanking, but it's never too early to start thinking about the Knicks' future for next year, depending on how we handle these upcoming games. If we're not going to handle these upcoming games with the type of urgency that it take to be still a 5th or 6th seed, then we find ourselves in a lot of trouble.
Yeah, we don't got a tank, but like I said before, when you go to trade for these players or you switching players out, you switching for something better than what you already put on the court now. So Mitchell Robinson being out, it hurts, and Jericho Sims playing a certain way. Yeah. But in Tibbs' system and the way he coaching, like what I say about Hartenstein, the way I thought he was gonna play is not how it's looking. Right? And then he's not matching up to what Mitchell was doing on the court. He's doing something totally different. Right? He's staying on the perimeter. He's not really grabbing on the rebounds. He's not grabbing it and dunking it with assertiveness. So, yeah, maybe when you hear Serge Ibaka, you like, maybe he could do that. But you need somebody that's going to do kind of what Mitch is already doing, if not better. Yeah. You know what I mean? You can say Jericho, but Jericho's in between that center, 4, you know. Yeah, that in between. That in between, so that's what hurts us. Yeah. He's playing well, but we don't play that kind of style where we running and gunning and we throwing up alley-oops off the backboard. I could say we had Zion Williams, like,
well, if we was, you know what I mean? Well, when we were running, see, that's the game we go back to this every week. If the Knicks just commit to the run, like you've been doing, teams can't handle you. Then when you got to fall back into your half-court sets, now you can pick yourself apart with Randall, RJ, or a Brunson. But we stopped running, and now we're using more other half-court games. Yeah, so then that tends to have you holding your breath.
They stopped running because they fighting for a job. That's why they was running until rumors started coming out on who getting traded.
Yeah, but that's sad to even have to say that, because nobody could stop us. That's what I mean by the cohesiveness of the team and the coaching. If you know what a team can't stop, like if I'm not even on the John Morant bandwagon, but he knows his strength is just pushing it down your throat, like AI. Getting you on your heels. Because once I got you backpedaling, now I can do more things. And that's the same thing with the Knicks. When we was playing the Hawks the other day, it was real refreshing to see on one of the fast breaks when they hit RJ. I think it was Randall pushing it, and he hit RJ right in stride in traffic. RJ go up for the layup. That's the kind of stuff that we still need. We got to keep playing fast-paced basketball so that when we slow it up, now we know we can go to Randall for his back down fade away or one of them type of things. All right, so the trade deadline is coming, and I'm a little bit more skeptical. The way we were playing, I was like, okay, you could probably maybe plug in something somewhere if you needed to, because everybody we talking about subtracting, they're not part of the rotation. Right. So then what are you bringing in that sense? But I'm at the point where I don't want to go backwards. Like, I want to still fight and try to stay in that 6th place spot, but I don't want to go backwards making a lateral move with the players like Levine and them guys who are almost like still having another Randall. I'm like, if you're gonna make a trade at the trading deadline and fight for this season, because these teams, even though we got a couple of decent teams in the East, but I'm not scared of Boston. As great as they're playing, I'm not scared of Milwaukee. So my thing for me would be, what could you do to pry away a Devin Booker that could keep you in stride? What could you do to pry away maybe a Paul George? Seeing that the Clippers, like, they don't have the time, they're not even playing anyway. It's not even injury. So, how can we get an impact player in here that don't really disrupt what you already done? As opposed to putting another Band-Aid on a player who will play good for a while and then they disappear for a few games or disappear at the closing minutes of the game. So that's going to be my thing with the trading deadline. I know they're not probably going to, do the latter and pull the trigger on a big-time player because you got to disrupt your team. But I think, to me, I would just stand pat unless we could do something like that. Because all those lateral moves, then you're going to end up with another Randall.
Or this is what you do. Because I see the rumors of, like, D Rose kind of getting his contract out of here and a couple people contract. Now, hear me out. I say, let Melo come back to the Knicks, have him come off the bench and keep what's the name on his toes. Now you gotta play, because Melo's gonna make up for Fournier's trash shooting. Melo's gonna make up for a lot of that stuff if he's coming off the bench. He's no stranger to coming off the bench now. He wants to play. He wants to change people's mind. I think that makes a bigger difference now in our team chemistry. Now, is he a leader maybe that we need like in Taj Gibson? No, but I feel like they play better when they feel like they're not making it.
Yeah, I mean at this point now we need some type of consistency.
Because we're not going to get Devin Booker or any of these other players unless they want Mitchell. I mean, not Mitchell Robinson.
Well, they're gonna a Devin Booker,
Randall.
Somebody, yeah.
They're
I would do that
Randall,
for Julius.
I'm talking about, they need Randall and somebody else and picks, and so now you look like a totally different team again. It got to be what matches what with Brunson at this point.
Well, yeah. Obviously, yeah, and Brunson now too. Remember, he also can slide to the 2.
I'll take Randall and RJ and trade him for somebody else, other 2.
I do that right now because we need consistency. They're not consistent, and that that remind me of somebody asked me during the week why like with the Knicks, why every time am I always so, when they're getting into seasons, like I'm always so sure the Knicks can do well, why I'm always so hopeful. And then I just was reminding the guy, because I go back to the 70s with the Knicks, but more I remind him with the 80s when we had Bernard, right? We had Bernard King, so we got a bona fide NBA scorer, leading the league in scoring. Any top player, Bird, Matt, any of them tell you they couldn't guard him. So now you take 1984, somewhere around there, we take hot Isaiah Detroit Pistons team, and we beat them in a playoff series. And then the same year, the next series we take Boston 7. And then you start saying, well, damn, the Knicks ain't missing. We missing maybe that one little piece. And then lo and behold, here comes a Patrick Ewing. And then we never let Bernard and Patrick play together. So we would have had that team that we all dreamed of for so much. We'd have had that type of team, and we just never fully put that team together and let it develop. We just traded Bernard away. So it's like, for me, it's like I've always been chasing that ever since. And we ain't had it, and we ain't had it yet. So it's like you always think the Knicks are going to do the right thing and make the right move. When you think of, like, say, a KP want to come back. Or, players like that who missed the New York limelight, who might can help you. We never get 2 real stars together and let them develop. So I'll be optimistic that every year the Knicks going to figure it out and do the right thing. And I look at our standings right now. The good thing about when we were 6 games over 500, you lose a few, you still over 500. So that's the beauty of that. But if we don't try to, hone in, and now I know I was always tooting Randall's horn, but now I got to agree with you. If we don't hone in on what Brunson can do for us and start maybe molding this team around in Brunson. Now, teams are going to still gear for Randall.
Y'all can't see me with my hands is up.
Yeah, but now, but teams ain't going to gear for that. Teams are going to still gear to stop Randall. So we know they're going to gear to stop Randall. So we start now maybe fixing this team to be around Brunson. Because they put them double teams on Randall. Let's let Brunson facilitate and help out the other guys because he can get his anytime he get ready. But the Knicks have to, it's imperative that we do something to get consistency out of this team or we're going to find ourselves on this huge slide. Because if you look at our schedule right now, y'all at home, you look at the Knicks' schedule for these next 20 games, and by the time you get down to the last 10, we could be way out of it. That's how the schedule looks. Because we're not figuring out how to close out games, and we're not figuring out how to win at home.
Yeah.
And it's killing us. You know, it really is killing us. We start playing tight.
Yeah, he's running the players into the ground for nothing. Tips is, the rotation is like, damn, if we got a game the next day and we playing it back-to-back, why are you playing them so long when we can kind of just get the win and be done with it?
Yeah, but that part ain't even my concern no more, how much they playing, because they all young. My concern is their decision-making down the stretch. Is it because they're tired? Or because we not getting.
Tired. They look like they on the court just.
Yeah, but we make some seriously stupid decisions down the stretch of games when you're supposed to be going into that stretch. You know, that chess match. The past 3 to 5 minutes of the game, we just out there lollygagging and jocking up shots, and also like when I look at the other teams in them clutch situations, they just coming on the road or home. They just coming down and pulling it. And we fighting to get a shot off. You can't win unless you shoot.
Because the other teams, they come down, and they know my job ain't even to pass or nothing. My job is to come down and score. So when we come down, Brunson's job is to try to get everybody in the game. Then Randall feels like he probably got to do the same thing. Then Quickly comes in the game, and he's trying to get everybody in the game. So nobody's coming in the game saying, no, I'm just going to be a sniper or anything.
Well, Brunson do that a lot of the times in the closing minutes.
Yeah, but
it's too much dribbling for everybody.
Yeah, but you know, like how I know, Brunson, he is the guy with the ball. Quickly is the guy with the ball. So now everybody comes in, they trying to be like, remember I get mad at Fournier for the same thing. Why are you coming in the game
too much dribbling,
trying to facilitate and dribble? No, you might as well just go in the game like Grimes. You got to praise Grimes for that because he get the ball, he just pure.
Yeah, because everybody's looking to set up. They're looking to set up the shot with the dribble. Just come down, do what you got to do to pass it, and whoever get it, pull it. Because that's what the other teams are doing. They're coming down, they're making a 1 or 2 pass, and that person is shooting. Can't win the game unless you shoot the basketball. So if they're getting 10, 15 shots at the end of a game and we getting 5, there's no way to win the game. Like there's no way that Atlanta going into the fourth quarter up 1 should outscore us 37-23.
Yeah, nah.
Like it ain't because we're not shooting. We keep trying to set up. No, let's just get back to shooting the basketball. Shoot the ball. 50-50 chance is going to go in. Because that's all the other teams are doing. And we can't even hit a consistent shot at home. So I'm just praying today that a game like Toronto, where RJ is from, that he didn't play in the first home game against Toronto, that he goes back to Toronto and then rediscover yourself. Like, don't try to outdo Scotty Barnes, because that's what he keep bringing up, who was Rookie of the Year last year. Just try to go home.
Was that Scotty Barnes that looked at RJ and said, "You not him"?
Yeah, because he knows how to. He's in Toronto, so Scotty knows that the people of Toronto love RJ. So now RJ, go home, just rediscover that magic that made you Canadian Mamba. And then come back and try to put this into our team in a way where you, Randall, and Brunson all can play off each other. And then let's keep this train moving, because I'd hate to see us, waste the kind of season that we haven't.
And I know we're not playing that way, but we were so physical in the beginning. Remember I said if that's your style of play. Remember I was saying go left. They're always trying to go right to prove that they not only going left. If your strength is going left, go left. Now if your strength is muscling people out the paint, just muscle them out the paint. Like that's Randall's thing. When everybody talk about Randall, they talk about how big he is, how strong he is. You know what I mean? So just keep doing that. Same thing with RJ. If your strength is bully ball, embrace the bully ball. Like ain't nobody said nothing wrong with bully ball.
Yeah.
New York, that's what we love to do.
Well,
we love in your face basketball. Start pushing them on the floor. Start cursing people out. Who we had? Ball don't lie.
Rashid. Yeah.
Curse somebody out. Maybe we need like somebody that will punch you in your face on the court.
Well, who would you like to see? Who would you like to see us bring in? Because he's not a fighter, but you got to look at there's some man named on Phoenix. I think he's getting a buyout. Crowder.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, a guy like that who won't back down from somebody else. You can plug him in. You can plug him in at the 3. It's a lateral move, but it's not. You wouldn't be expecting him to do no more than be that 3-and-D type of guy.
Yeah, we need that type of person. We need the person that's vocal. Everybody quiet. I don't hear Brunson look like he's talking. but he's so serious.
Yeah.
Like, we need somebody that vocal.
Well, the season is not.
The Warriors
lost.
done told you what it was. Draymond over here screaming at the top of his lungs. LeBron over there in LA screaming at the top of his lungs. The winners are screaming at the top of their lungs. Like,
well, our main keys though is consistency. If we can be consistent, and we can figure out how to close out a game in the last minutes of the game, then we're good. You know, and that consistency from Randall, RJ, you're getting a little bit of that, or you're getting a lot of it from Brunson. You know, it'd be nice the game before that if he'd come down last week and hit that 3 at the end. But I ain't mad at it. You know, he practiced that shot.
You couldn't be mad at it.
He don't take it in the game, but he does. I've seen him in person at the Knicks warm-ups. I've seen him practice that. So he just pulled up and he missed it. But it's just like you want to see our guys down the end of a game be able to go tip for tap with another.
I watched the replay. In my eyes, that was going in. Like, even when I watched the replay, I'm like, that go in, he's the man. Right? Yeah. You miss it, you're not the man. But like Kobe would say, you got to keep trying it.
Yeah.
And those are the moments you live for.
Yeah, and hopefully he didn't get discouraged by that. They can come down and keep taking that.
Brunson, listen, shoot that again. I don't care.
But overall,
Melo did it. Melo missed some, and then he made a lot.
Yeah, Melo
missed a lot of them.
Yeah, his percentage started going down at the end. So we're not down on the Knicks. What we're saying is that when you look at the Knicks stats after the game, the Knicks, they have excellent stats across the board. It's just something about that clutch gene that everybody got to learn how to develop within their role on the team. You know, within their role, be clutch player in your role. If it's grabbing that key rebound, you know, making that extra pass, you know, whatever it is, helping the helper, you know, we got to be able to get that. You know, we can't have Mitch flying out to block a shot and nobody goes down to cover his man.
Box your man out. What are y'all doing?
Yeah, they doing it sometimes. They're just not doing it enough. But no teams are doing that, though. I mean, we getting offensive rebounds. We're a good offensive rebounding team because people aren't boxing out. I think that's just coming into a lost art in the NBA.
Well, at least in the clutch.
Yeah, but as a whole, you know, those are the things that it can hurt you, but those are the things that are killing you. You're killing yourself. Teams are killing themselves on the offensive end of the ball, shooting the ball. And we have to be more consistent in our shooting the ball approach. You know, so today really wasn't a bash on the Knicks, but when you're so close to having that kind of good season, you know, you want to keep that going. And when you can, with an eyeball, just point out obvious things, you know, that's bad. And the Knicks need to correct those obvious things so that we can keep going, you know, because I'm enjoying this season, but I get frustrated with, you know, those type of little things we just talked about. Let's get it together, enjoy the season, try to stay, because we may fall back to 8 or 9 during this stretch and then get back in it again. Because I really doubt right now, the way we're playing, we're going to hold on to this 6 seed.
Yeah, the teams in front of us, they just got the only difference for the teams in front of us, they got a clear-cut star. Like, they got somebody on that team you can actually name them, like, all right, cool.
Yeah, but I mean, the teams that are behind us, like we knew Miami was coming.
Well, Miami, they don't got the clear-cut star, but they got the players that we probably think we got.
Well, their whole team know that Jimmy Butler, though.
That's what I'm saying.
In their role, right. They know that Jimmy Butler's going to be the guy that's going to take us there. So that's what we have to develop. Who's going to actually take us there? You know, consistently take us there.
Look, no knock on Jimmy Butler, but if he was on the Knicks, we'd be in the same boat.
We'll
if it was Jimmy Butler other than Randall, we'd just be praising him that he's a two-way player.
Yeah, but his leadership on the Knicks,
we'd be like, we need more shooters around him. Like, we'll be.
Yeah, but his leadership on the Knicks would be more valuable than his leadership in Miami because their coaching and their management are the leaders. Will always be the leaders of
Miami. And I like Jimmy
Miami.
Butler, just in case he ever watched the show. You know what I mean? I like Jimmy.
Well, he getting old too. All right, so we just wanted to have today just touch on our Knicks a little bit. We'd like to see what y'all think of where the Knicks can go in the next 10, 15 games. Can we stay in the hunt, or will we slide back out of the top 12? Because something has to give, and we in a bit of trouble. The Knicks are in trouble. I gotta go on record saying that. 'Cause I look at our schedule, and I look at how we not closing out games. We about to play some teams that do that.
In trouble now. Watch tonight. They put on the show in Toronto.
And they should. And I believe we can win tonight. I'm not worrying about on the road.
Yeah, I'm
worrying about at home.
That's the problem when it's like we enjoy it, but then your emotions go up and down, up and down, up and down.
And that's the beauty of being a Knicks fan. All right, so again, by the time y'all see this, it will be Monday morning. By this time, the Knicks will have won or lost. We still will be a couple of games over 500 either way, so we have time to right the ship. but we don't have too much time. So please like, comment, subscribe, share the video.
Yeah, if the Knicks scouts is looking, I mean, y'all can call me. I hit a couple shots, you know what I mean?
Hit a couple shots. All right, peace.